Okay, so show me 4 ask us to suppose that we're teaching students about least common multiples and we only use the following examples to illustrate the concept: 4 and 7, 3 and 10, 5 and 12, and 8 and 9. And what misconception about the LCM might the students develop? So the problem with these examples, and only using these examples, is that the least common multiple between all 4 of these examples is simply the 2 numbers multiplied. For example, 4 multiplied by 7 is 28, which also is the least common multiple between these 2 numbers. Same for 3 and 10. The least common multiple between 3 and 10 is 30, but that's also 3 and 10 multiplied together. Same for 5 and 12. The least common multiple between 5 and 12 is 60, and that's also 5 multiplied by 12. And the same thing for 8 and 9, it would be 72, which is also the least common multiple and the product of these 2 numbers. So some better examples to use would be examples to where these 2 numbers, the least common multiple isn't simply the product of the 2 numbers, because the misconception that students will develop is that to find the least common multiple, you simply just multiply the numbers together, which is obviously not correct. So some better examples would be, say, 6 and 12, because the least common multiple between these 2 numbers is 12. And the student could easily see that 12 is not the product of 6 multiplied by 12. Another example could be 8 and 4. And the least common multiple between 8 and 4 would just simply be 8 and not 32, which would be what the students would think if they thought that just the least common multiple was just the product of these 2 numbers. So I think that these examples are better to use along with these, because these work too, but it's important not to just show these so that that misconception is not developed in the student.